advocating for government policies to strengthen youth capacities. Only on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to yet another episode of Zone 72 Youth Program. And my name is Winnie Eric, your host for the program. Zone 72 Youth Program focuses on the rights and choices for all adolescents and youth, and the program as well emphasizes on the three-pillared global strategy for adolescents and youth, putting young people at the center of sustainable developments. This program is brought to you in collaboration with the Canadian Association of Midwives and UNFPA. Zone 72 Youth Program airs every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. on iRadio, your eye on South Sudan. In today's edition of the program, we shall be discussing basically on relationships, basing on dating and how to choose a right partner in future. But before proceeding with our discussions, let's have a brief background on relationships. According to Office of Population Affairs, during adolescence, young people learn how to form safe and healthy relationships with friends, parents, caregivers, teachers, and romantic partners. Adolescents often try on different identities and roles, and all of these relationships contribute to their identity formation. Peers in particular play a big role in creating an identity during adolescence. However, relationships with caring adults, including parents and caregivers, mentors or coaches, are the building blocks for all other relationships, providing examples for how a young person handles them. Healthy relationships are the ones where adolescents can safely feel and express respect for themselves and others. This often comes from mutual trust, honesty, good communication, being understanding and calm during arguments, and consent. Unhealthy relationships, by contrast, usually have a power imbalance. For example, there is no consent, mutual trust, compromise or honesty, and one or both people in the relationship may have trouble communicating and controlling their anger. Some unhealthy relationships become basically emotionally or sexually violent. That's why our discussion for today is all about talking with adolescents about relationships and tools to facilitate these conversations. So now, what do we understand by relationships, and how can young people practice healthy relationships? For a better discussion on today's topic, I am now joined by Esther Martin, Executive Director of Lugara Bellet, an art-based foundation and an advocate for youth rights, and Gak Malek, the founder of BTEC and also the coordinator of Zone 72 Youth Program. You're welcome to Zone 72 Youth Program on iRadio.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Winnie.
Well, to begin our discussion with what is the true meaning of relationships, let me start with the coordinator.
Well, I think relationship doesn't have any scientific definition as such, but let me give a layman definition whereby it's all about come and know me and I know you. Let's know ourselves. Relationship is basically a duration whereby you need to know your partner whom you are trying to commit emotional attachment towards, and for that purpose it's just that period of knowing yourselves.
Okay. Well, Esther, what can you say? How do you understand relationship, by the way?
Okay, thank you so much, Winnie. Basically, from my, I'm taking this to our society, how we tend to perceive relationships. Relationships is just a way how we connect with each other. It can be intimate relationship, it can be a non-romantic relationship, which is with our family members. It can be with friends, it can be with our workmates, colleagues in school. So it's that connection that we have with each other that we call it relationship. Then I think for the purposes of today's discussion, we're going to look at the intimate relationship that can be either emotional or physical, which is the sexual aspect of the relationship. So relationship, as Gak had put it, it's the period in which I get to know the person and decide whether or not I really want to commit to the person. It's just the knowing phrase of.
All right, okay. Thank you so much, guys. It might sound funny, but tell us, should young people date? Is it important for young people to date?
Wow, very important to date and know yourselves, because if young people skip this stage of knowing their partners and those people who they want to commit in the entire lifetime, you might end up maybe marrying or being forced to marry a monster, a wrong person, someone you don't understand, someone who doesn't understand you, and it's just because of missing out in this stage. So young people are supposed to date, know themselves, but dating doesn't mean you need it's automatically having sex. These are two different things. You can date, know yourselves, but once you date a lady or a lady dates a man, it's not an automatic yes to sex. That is a different story, whereby you need also the consent of the partners and all those things. So personally, on my view, I think it's very important, and it's crucial to date, because we have so many GBV cases happening in families, so many tolerance in marriages, just because people fail to take their time to know their partners and their spouse. They just rush in, and that was it. Just in the name that someone has the nice figure, someone has money, you're such a romantic guy, and TDH, tall, dark, and handsome. Relationship goes beyond the physical things that we see and the real definition of things. It goes to the characters. What are the characters of this person? Do you even know the strength of this person? Do you know the weakness of this person? If weaknesses arise, how do you handle them? So out of all those stages, it's super impossible to know them if you don't take your time to date. So I would personally encourage young people to continue dating. But how young, that is now a different story, because there are certain ages that you cannot start dating at particular age. That will definitely means you're dating a child. So it's not children, but I mean young people. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Esther, do you have something?
I think this question, when it's always asked, why do young people have to engage into the dating process, I always have one response: date as much as you can out there. As Gak had put it, it doesn't mean necessarily that once I commit to somebody, I'm dating that person, it is an automatic gateway to having sex with the person. Date as much as you want, because this is the knowing phrase in your life. This is when you get to put up the serious questions to the person. This is the first way you're going to discuss about the person's weaknesses, the person's likes and dislikes. This is the phase whereby mostly, let me say, in South Sudan, in our context, we always tend to focus more on the fun side of things. So when things tend to go south, people don't know how to handle themselves. Yet we are given that opportunity at relationships to know really the person in and out. You get to know the person. You get to know the person's attitude, the person's dislike, the person's perception on politics, the person's perception on cohabiting, because this is a very occurring thing that is happening out there. The person's perception on marriage, the person's perception on co-parenting if a pregnancies tend to happen, the person's perception on single motherhood or single fatherhood, the person's perception on one of the most boiling topics of recent, feminism, the person's perception on literally all walks of life, religion. This is when you really sit down with the person, and in the months that you tend to date, you get to know, is this person really who I want to be? Am I going to commit to a Muslim person? Am I going to commit to a person who is from this and this, a certain profession? Am I going to commit to a person who has a certain way of how he wants his things done? So I encourage, personally, I encourage young people to date as much as you can. But dating does not mean that every single partner that we get to meet out there, you definitely have a sexual relationship with, because there's a burden that comes with sexual relationships that we tend to take it very light. But for the religious people, we know the burden that comes with having multiple partners out there. So yes, it's a yes from my side that this generation should get to know, because you don't want one day to wake up in marriage and your partner tells you, you know what, Winnie, you are not going to work, yet you had not discussed this at the relationship phase.
Yeah,
I don't want to wake up one day and the person tells me, you know what, let's say for instance the person drinks, and one day the person just wakes up and be like, no, you are stopping drinking, yet you had that opportunity to discuss such during the relationship phase. So I encourage people to date as much as you have the time out there. Date.
All right, interesting. Okay, thank you so much, Esther Gurk. Taking you back a bit, you raised something very important, and it's really happening. You said sometimes dating can lead to, things like violence in the communities, and it's normally happening when you date somebody just by look. You see someone looking attractive, and then you decide to go to that person without studying one another. And you also talk of time frame. For instance, you just take a look of someone and you rush for marriage without taking time. So what can you say as coordinator of Youth Zone 72, like how long should a person take in time of dating? Because sometimes other dating will lead to marriage in future.
Wow, tricky and answer that doesn't have 1 + 1 equals to 2, because there are certain relationships that take short period of time, and people know themselves in and out, and they are good to move in and make good couples. The others who have dated for 15 years, and you marry for 2 years and you divorce because you can't really make good partners. So there is no really one research that can define that you have to date for 5 years for you to make good partners. You might get it wrong. Others might have dated for 2 years, 1 year, and they're okay. Otherwise, what I would really encourage, and the most important thing here, is understanding the person. What are the red lines of that person? Every human being has a red line, something that person cannot tolerate. If the red line of GAC is a certain limit, and that thing is in you, then it simply means I'm a wrong person for you. If your red line is somewhere and it's something that is in me, it means we cannot make good partners. So unfortunately, as just put it before, most of people focus on the positive part of it. How angel I am, how I can celebrate your birthday, how romantic I am, we can go to the Nile and cruise. The heaven part of it, the sweeter part of it, how much you can have picnic with ice cream. But come on, I would encourage you to focus more on the negativities of that person. Not to leave someone, but to understand whether these are things that you can take. If you are a man and you want a housewife, then you go and date a career woman to bring to the house, that you will tell tomorrow, please, I want you to resign from work, and then you babysit at home. You go cook, take my bathing water to the bathroom, and wash my clothes. I would literally say you're a wrong person to be married, first of all. Because if you want a housewife, go and get a housewife. They're outside. If you want a career woman, they're outside there. Go and get that career woman. And don't be surprised if she tells you that I have to go to Yambio for the field work, or I've been transferred to go to Torrid, I've been transferred to Bentiu, to Awil, all those things. You have to understand, because even you as also a career man, you will also be transferred, and she will also have to understand. So most of the time, people just look at, do this person have money? And you settle from there. I want an independent lady. It doesn't matter. You're independent. You can handle your own things. Once I cannot pay school fees of the kids, she will come in. And that thing oversees a lot of things. So there's no one specific period of time, but take your time, because someone cannot hide character for long. The moment we start dating, even certain period of time, if you really want to know me, you can easily know, because human beings don't pretend for long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I like the way you guys put it. Everyone focus on the positive part of a person, forgetting the weakness of that person. And the solution is understanding. I love that. And now, what are the examples of healthy and unhealthy relationships among young people? Let me start this with Esther.
Thank you so much, Winnie. We always have a very thin line between healthy relationships and unhealthy relationships out here. Me personally, from experience, and also from how things are run in the country, and how relationships are happening, I can easily say a very healthy relationship is whereby a partner feels so safe around the other person. I can feel so safe around the person that I am dating without having fear of the person slapping me anytime I do a mistake that will lead to actually violence in the relationship. Another point is that a healthy relationship have that respect that you accord to your person, which leads also to the point that I had just pointed out, like feeling safe around the person. A healthy relationship also, communication. This is, it tops it up, because it's not all along the way that 1 + 1 is 2, but sometimes we need to compromise in relationship. We need to compromise for, at our work schedules and all that. We don't work in the same place, we don't have the same morals, we were not brought up from the same background. But if we communicate regularly, we get to understand each other, we get to know the person more, we get to know exactly what does Winnie want, or what is her likes, her dislike out here. I can say a healthy relationship has an element of trust in it, because today nobody wanna wake up and your partner is blaming you, or trying to, you had stepped out maybe with friends, and the next thing is, who is that person that dropped you? I know you ladies of this generation, or I know you men of this generation. Why is she commenting on your social? Because social media is like one of the platform where people tend to fight a lot with their partners. So a healthy relationship, both partners can be able to trust each other. Today your partner tells you, I am stepping out, and the person is not going to act funny out there, because you understand the person from the very beginning. A healthy relationship, one of the most important elements of a healthy relationship, I can say, is the consent before doing anything. Like, generally people tend to think that if I am in a relationship today, it's a yes from the lady, and it's a yes from the man's side. But we tend to forget to seek consent on other things. Is she okay with her pictures being posted out there on social media? Is she okay with you having a big crowd in the house? Is she okay? Like, just seek her consent, or seek his consent in whatever in whatever issue that will affect the both of you. Then one of the most important elements that I always tell people out there is that a healthy relationship, you have to take your partner's feelings into consideration. Generally today I cannot say, whatever, I don't care, yet I tend to say I am trying to build a healthy relationship. So there's also a very thin line between the two. People tend to think like putting somebody's feeling into consideration goes way to petty things, like I am stepping out, just letting you know I'm stepping out, letting you know that I will be traveling, trying to keep your partner in picture, trying to take his feelings into consideration. What does he like, or what does he like, despite out here that I should avoid not to cross the red line. People tend to take that so like they really don't take that serious. But having your partner at heart, I call it having your partner at heart, is the most important factor in a very healthy relationship. So for us to build a healthy relationship, I think the points I had pointed out are some of the things that would really make a healthy relationship from experience and from other walks of life out here.
Okay. Thank you so much, Esther, for that. Yes, Gak, do you have something in addition to that?
Wow, thank you so much, Esther, for exhausting it. The only addition that I would like to make is building yourself. A healthy relationship need to build both parties, because as a human being, you need a partner. There is no single human being that is complete alone. A man needs a woman needs a man. And as we need ourselves, we need to build and grow ourselves. So if you're in a relationship that your partner cannot build you and you cannot build that person, it's wrong. Especially for the current generation, I would really say that that's a no-go zone. Because previously, women never used to have careers as it is right now. So a woman would just come and get into man's dream. Whatever thing a man dreams of, that is what the woman wants. But right now, women are also pursuing careers like men. And we need to accept that. So a woman, like the age of, let's say, our mothers and the grandmothers, previously their main aim was just to get the right man, hardworking. Then you go there, you become a housewife. Right now, that's not the case, because a woman also have a career like you to pursue. A woman also have a dream. She's having a vision of what kind of a mother she wants to be, what kind of a wife she wants to be to the husband, what kind of a grandmom she would like to be to her grandchildren, and even later on, if she passes on, what kind of legacy would she leave behind. Previously, the age of our great-grandmothers in South Sudan, they never used to think of that. They never used to think of legacy, because anything that the husband has done, that will be her legacy. But right now, you as a man, you have a legacy that you want to leave behind. You as a woman, you also have a legacy that you want to leave behind. So we need to accept that change and build ourselves. Build a lady. At least, how better is she or how better is he when you started dating and now? If there is no any improvement, that's a wrong partnership. So as young people, please invest in relationship that can build you as a person, and you can also build that person, so that all of you, you're a nice companion and you can grow yourselves. See even your families grow. The same thing to your spouses. So that's the only addition that I would like to make.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that interesting explanation, both of you. Now, how can a youth know that he or she is in an healthy relationship? Because, sometimes it's tricky. Someone may pretend in the beginning, but how can a young person, maybe a youth, know that he or she is in an healthy relationship? Yes.
Wow. There are a lot of red flags in unhealthy relationship that have been normalized of recent, that we tend to think it's part, it has been incorporated into the culture, that we hardly see them as red flags, and we hardly see them as unhealthy habits in a relationship. Take, for instance, poor communication. Literally, the person spends a week. Relationship is built on communication. To get to know a person, you communicate. But because, the I am busy aspect that we have in today's generation has made it so, like, people rarely communicate out here. So poor communication really is one of the elements that says it's a red flag, you are in a very unhealthy relationship. Another thing is, I was saying before, control and putting your partner at heart. At a certain point, we become so controlling of our partners that we want them to act a certain way. We want them to act our way, forgetting that these are two different people in a relationship with two different visions, with two different objectives out here. So we tend to, if a lady is a controlling one in a relationship, we tend to make the man do things our way. Another aspect of a very unhealthy relationship is, emotional abuse, mostly our physical or domestic abuse in relationships. Okay, domestic violence in relationships are very minor in our society right now, let me say in Juba, but emotional abuse is like everywhere. out there. You find somebody takes it because mostly it happens on ladies. Ladies also do emotionally blackmail men out there, but mostly a man will go out there and do something that is really not okay with you. But because we were brought up to think, you are a woman, you should bear with that. You a woman is the house, you're the home, you make a home. So you start normalizing all this. You start normalizing all this disrespect that is given your way. You start normalizing all the poor communication. You start making everything so normal that at a point you don't know that there are red flags or unhealthy habits in a relationship.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Wow. As human beings, we all have different needs and wants. And all of us know what we want in life. The moment you have definition of what you want, first of all, makes you understand what kind of person you need, because there's no that one woman that is okay for all the men, and there's no that one man that is okay for all the women, because maybe the qualities that you need in men to complement what you have is not what the other person might need. So first of all, for you to know that you're in a healthy relationship, it's to get a person, either a man or a woman, that meets your needs from the other side of the story. Because if you need someone who is good at communication, for example, and you get the person is not good in communication, it simply means that's not the right person for you. Other people might not care about communication. Maybe they just want a person who cares. The moment you give that emotional support, that's all. So if you really understand what you want, look for that person who have it. You will never get a person who have 100% qualities of what you need from your partner. There is never such, unless if you take the soil, you mold another human being, and you breathe the air into that soil to make a human being, which is impossible, because this is a woman or a man that was raised and born in different family, raised by a different woman or a different man, and you have met when you're already grown up. So don't really expect your photocopy of everything you want. But I think if someone meets 60-70% of your needs, I think that is a healthy one.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. And why is it important to educate young people about relationships? Esther.
Okay, thank you so much, Winnie. I always take it at my personal level to make sure that adolescents that are below the age of 18, the young adult, get to know about relationship. Because I have one belief that the younger you teach the person, the better the person becomes when they grow up. Another saying that you can teach an old dog new tricks. This is like my path of life. I just walked through that. So I think it's really, really healthy to teach young people about relationships, because, this is an arena whereby we explore, we disagree respectfully. When I say respectfully, people tend to disagree in a way that sometimes causes drama and all that, but we disagree respectfully to agree in relationships. So it's good that we teach them, about relationship tips, about relationship pros and cons, so that when they really get there, they know that at a point, as Gak had put it, if I get a person who has 70, 80%, 60% of the attributes I want out there, because it's not bed of roses and honey out there. At a point, you're going to disagree with your partner. But the most important part is, how do you disagree with your partner? So they literally need to know how, to pass, how do I put this? Press their message in a way that will not disrespect the other partner. Another aspect another angle that I look at is that by teaching these young people about relationship, it helps them make informed decisions out there. Today, I would not just wake up and a person tells me, you know what, girl, I really like you, and I take you to my mama or make you my wife, and you start, getting excited unnecessarily and saying, this is the man I'm going to commit to because he proposed marriage and he want to take me to his mom. No. By teaching young people about the positive impacts and like tell them everything out here, they will make informed decisions, especially when it reaches that range of marriage, because of recent we have been having a lot of domestic violence in marriages. The GBV cluster keep filing a lot of cases against men, against women, violence against kids. But if really people had taken their time to learn about relationship, this would not be happening out there. I also look at it from the angle that when we teach young people about relationship, they tend to discover themselves. When you give yourself that opportunity to be in a relationship, invest that time in a relationship, you tend to discover new things about yourself, discover more about what you like out here, what you don't like out here, how you really want to run your life. We grow, we are human beings, we grow, and the more we grow, the more I don't know if I can put it in this way. 80%, this is from my personal analysis of marriages of people, of men that got married at a younger age. At a certain point, they reach and they're like, no, this is not the partner I really wanted out here. And in the case of South Sudan, it's just an automatic case that they are going to marry a second wife because they took that decision to marry earlier without discovering themselves, without discovering what they want actually in families, without discovering what they want in relationships. I just saw he's beautiful, he's handsome, he's dark, tall, and all that, and I just get pregnant for him. And because our marriage system in the country is, you get married for someone, you get pregnant for someone, automatically you're married to the person. So I get pregnant for the person, and the person, I grow up and I'd be like, oh, but this is not what I want in a man. This is exactly not what I want in my partner, in my long-term partner. So it leads to a lot of things, domestic violence, divorce, rampant divorce that we have in the country. You will get invited to a wedding and it's always jolly, lovey, bed of roses out there, and within 6 months you're asking the person, how is your wife? Like, she's there. How is your partner? Oh, sometimes you ask them, how is marriage? And it's a very common discouraging word that married people tend to put out here, like, marriage. They will not finish. They'll be like, marriage.
Oh, just like that.
Yeah. So if we really teach this young generation or young people on all the pros and cons of relationship, at a point, we will reach a point whereby they will be like, I need to discover myself. I need to get to know the person. I need to make informed decision before I commit somewhere.
Okay, interesting. Thank you. Anything you need to add? Yes.
Not much. One thing that I would like to add, it's very important for young people to be involved in relationships and also know, because we are seeing so many abuses in marriages or things that you cannot tolerate, that later on, because in the name of the cultures, the kettles have been paid, you can do this. If you divorce, what will people say about you? Where will the children remain? Who will go with them? How am I going to start life? You see, all those questions, you will see a lot of people tolerating marriages not because they're happy, but there are a lot of unanswered questions after divorce. And for that thing, they just said, okay, fine, for the sake of my children, let me just tolerate, which is completely wrong. And that's why it is very important to date, know the person you are committing to, because this is a lifetime commitment. This is someone that's going to be the mother of your children. This is the person that's going to be the father of your children. And you're going to raise a new generation that was not there, but you want to build them into great men, into great women of this nation, of this continent, of this world. And there are a lot of things involved in it. Previously, in our cultures, people used to know themselves better, because you could see you're given time to come and date a woman. You're given time to meet. If you're a man, you're given time to meet maybe the sisters of the lady you're dating, the relatives, the parents, and all these processes. And those will give the recommendations. as to what they think of that person that you're dating. Even your people, you will not be coming alone. The lady will ask, where are your brothers? Where are your relatives? Where are those people? Because we're living a communal lifestyle. So with that, there was enough time, and that's why there were few cases of divorces. Because marriage, according to African context, is a union of two families. Marriage in the Western context is a union of two people. It's a matter of a man kneeling down on his knees and propose, baby, will you marry me? And if the answer is yes, we celebrate, and it's done. Right now, you can go down on your knees 1,000 times. The lady says yes 1,000 times, but someone that you have even never met in life will say, no, this marriage is going nowhere. And it will end from there, which means we need check and balance of these two things, whereby we look at the upcoming civilization of the Western cultures, the cultures that were with us, and then we balance them. We don't need really to maintain certain toxic cultures that are wrong, that are having damages, and we also don't need to also pick everything. Not everything that comes from the West that is gold. There's something that we can say no. I think we're handling this better. So with those things, I think even in relationship we need balancing of this. Because my own definition of civilization is, if you know how to balance your cultures and the Western life that we are in, you know what to pick, what to reject, and also what to dump and what to maintain. It's a very important and crucial process, so that you don't just say everything African is rubbish and you're dumping it off. Everything Western is gold. Or you just close your mind by saying everything Western is rubbish. Me, I'm keeping my things. That too much rigidity or too much flexibility is completely not good. So relationships are very important, and young people should date, definitely.
All right, thank you so much. And now, what is your advice to young people in choosing right partners in future? Your advice to young people on how to choose partners, right partners in future?
Well, know yourselves first of all. Understand yourself before you understand the other person. Number two, know your strength, know your weaknesses. And now, with what you have, ask yourself, which kind of a partner do I need to complement what I have?
Okay.
And the moment you meet that person, that's the right person. Don't only focus on the strength, please. Strength and weaknesses, goal time remains, but every human being have a weakness somewhere. The moment you understand that weakness and you can handle it, that's the right person. Because I saw someone saying today that if you can forgive, then don't marry, because marriage is where there's too much attacking of your emotions. You will have to tolerate. You will have a lot of unanswered questions. So let's take time to know ourselves, especially young people. If you teach your daughter, your boy, on how to date, it is not bad. Rather than them discovering alone, and they meet the wrong people.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, Esther. Something just in brief.
I can say, take your time. This is exactly what I will tell young people out there. Don't rush, because the English saying is that you rush, you crash. So before you commit, take your time, communicate, get to know the person you really want to commit to. Know exactly, does this person really complements the elements that I have in me, as Gak had put it. Today, my strength, my weaknesses can be somebody's strength out there. So are you using your strength to complement my weaknesses and make me a better person? Are you making me the person that tomorrow, if I look back, I'll be like, I have come a journey with this person? So we shouldn't rush out there. Young people should really take their time. I will emphasize that young people should take their time to get to know the people they want to commit to.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, dear listener. You are still listening to Zone 72 Youth Program on iRadio Your Eye on South Sudan. And that was Esther Martin, Executive Director of Lugar Abilit. an art-based foundation and an advocate for youth rights, and Gak Malek, the founder of BTEC and the coordinator of Zone 72 Youth Program, speaking. Our studio lines are now open. You can call on 0922 986 986 or 0911 986 986. For now, our SMS line is not going to work, so if you want to reach us, you can call on those two lines. We are discussing about relationships basing on dating and how to choose a right partner in future. What should you consider when choosing a right partner for your future, and what normally happens when you choose a wrong person in your relationship? Also, feel free to ask questions of clarification. I'm having my guest in the studio who will respond to you immediately. I read you. I read you. 0922 986 986 or 0911 986 986. Shukran لكل مستمعين إذاعة راديو وهذا فرصة تاكي أسان تبقدر شارك في برنامج تا زون 72 يوت بروجرام. مناقصة بتاع أليلة بيونسو عن إلاكا يعني في سنو إتا بعينو أول فوقو زول قبل إتا ما بدا هيبو أوه وكمان شنو بيحصل ممكن إتا هذه الزول المكويز في إلاكا تاكي دي مناقصة بدنا تقليلا ودي سؤال اللي أنا جو أعرف من إتا لو كمان إتا عنده يعني سؤال فوقو إلاكا مرحب توالي أسان في ضيوف معنا في داخل الاستوديو تا إذاعة راديو اللي بيجاوبوا لإتا توالي. I radio.
Hello.
Yes, I radio.
Maka wadi mini Anzara.
مرحب توالي وادي.
أيوة. عندنا وصل في برنامج ده يعني شوفت فيها جد فوق تبعنا. ده يتقدر جوك سابع كل سابع زول كل سابع تاعك فيها جد بتلو لو كان تاعنا فوقه ثم كل سابع مو عشان شنو ده جد ده وبيشارك وبيدوب الناس وبعمل شنو إلا جد كان ده جد يعني شو فوق زول ثم كل سابع مع زول كل ده جد أنا الكثير توقع فوق الناس ما داري الناس تانين فوقه.
No.
شكرا.
All right. Sukran Khali Sawadi, Ma Musharak Bitak. Kawadi also says it's good to first study that person. Yeah, you know whether that person is a thief or not.
Yeah.
Because you end up marrying maybe someone that you really don't want to. Shukran Khalis, itakaman bagdar sharik fi nebsura gamma 0919 au 0922 986 986 or 0911 986 986 are our call lines, and we are discussing about relationships basing on dating and how to choose a right partner in future. You might be a young person, but tomorrow still you're going to get married. So what we would like to know from you exactly, what should you consider when choosing a right partner for your future, and what normally happens when you landed in the hand of a wrong person. I read you.
I read it.
Yes, I read you.
Okay. We are speaking with Mariel.
Who?
Mariel.
You're welcome,
Lava.
Ryan. Welcome.
Was my the guys in the studio there? I don't know. As one of the when you are dating a child and you say that will you marry me, then you will say yes. But when someone whom you never meet will say no, that you are not going to marry, how can you marry yourself when someone approaches? That one may actually deal with it. Because they have intention of getting married, but one of the part of the guy refused. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mayan James. I think Gak is here. He's the right person because you guys are the one dating, so he will be the one to respond. But before that, let's listen to this. I radio. Hello, I radio.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. Your name and where are you calling from? Tamam.
أنا جينا ديت مونوكي بلوكسي.
اسمك منو؟
اسمي نيكولاس.
مرحب توالي نيكولاس.
برنامج تاعكم ده كويس. تعرفوا جوزو تعرف ناس بيجوزوا ده إذا كان ده بنية
ita tisiru sabiu al binia fitija a wele fitija to monat al kelu o monitor binia de hete sokke fi area na o binia kwes wala sunu zaman zere binia kaman fitija ta ko no bisiru sabito binia tamam kerita bi wele de zul mujire wala beto mondeke zul tamashake karo ligo baranta kulu tamam mato bu wodi mo mana kaman gala suma zul takide o kwes kita continue mo yana haja tana sasa ayam ta hasara da san ita bora fi petro binia zai aula tambija tifalle balance de diga ma fi tambija tuwal parshad bara duguta ko lakin zaman de tambija fi bet na zai bayano na zai gija kan tandur kam mara zari mo basa na zai dori kanam sun bara ay jama'at gidor kida izol ta filan so gono jere ta munu o minia to usura mo kama be para tabi min usura da kan de usura no nin masakil mo zaman wal de ma indu wajere usura de ke zato kan mo ligo usura de tamam ba kan wala de ko anna bar fa buto na bar fa to usura to mun beto kun na bar yala para ke to yala kana sana gili go bar to hotel suk bes mi kiafa to wala dira na namba bukura de to hotel bina hamil kar go di jozi ni beta mar zanda harami wala sara ya jozi de serek bina to reja biga to det majana bukura san biga bi jozu kala de biga muskila tani jena de zato dukurini charjara o bina de biga sa gora yintari ga tare bina da wala tema ban fagale ya ka ga kun gita kun na shabab da
Okay, all right.
shukran
Shukran Khalis Nicholas ma musarag bitak. Shukran shidid kedena kamana asma min kola tani. I radio.
hello
Yes, please. Misal no rismak minutar min wen. No? Karo kur marhab twali. Marhab.
فعلا كلام الزواج الزمان انا زمان ما عندنا زواج كان في فرصه الناس بيونسوا بيدوقوا الفرص يونسوا حتى الناس ذاته بيعرفوا الشباب اللي بيجوا في حله ده البونس البنات بيزعلون بعدين بعد ما يرجعوا في البيت انتوا شباب انتوا زول مشيتوا ونسوا معه ده يا الناس منو ويا حله حتى انت ذاتك هم ابوك زمان بيزعلوا بيقول لك انت البنت اللي قاعد تتكلم معه ده يعني زمان الحياة كان فيه شورى اختيار انت بتشورى أسرة بتاعك حتى لو في عنده رأي انه يقول لك أسرة ده لو هم ما هيتفاهمان يقول لك لا يقول لك كده اجيب أسرة ده نحن ما هي بتاعنا بعدين في جوازة بتاعكم ما بيمشي لقدام وهذا اختيار زي ما قال اخونا المتصل قبلي انه بقى حاجات بتمشي في الفنادق ما بيشعروا في أسرة إلا بعدين دور غير الزمن يجي بعد شوية أول مرة بيجيبوه بيقول ما داير أسرة ما داير ناس بدان من قبله ما عارف ممكن أنت ما وريت نفسك الحقيقة ممكن أنت مشيت خشيته قلت أنا زول بتاع أبوي زول غني أنا يا زول أنا زول غني أنا زول وزير الكلام زي ده بعدين ما يجي دور حقيقة هو ناس بعدين ما يقدر بيعيشوا أنا بكون ما في حقيقة لكن زمان الناس بيعرفوا نفسهم يعني بيمشوا بحقيقة عشان كده بيت بيمشي كويس لكن هذا ممكن بيكون في خش عشان كده حاجه من بدأ بخجله في لما نيجي الحقيقه بعدين الناس ما بيمشي لقدام انا بريد يعني حياه زوجيه ده ما حاجه سهل ده مستقبل بتاعكم انتوا هذا لازم يكون اختيار يكون فيه صراحه لازم يكونوا وروا نفسهم حقائق وبعدها يجي يقرروا في زواج ما يكون كلام ما في حقيقه كثر الدم والشرع.
Okay. Sokran Khalis Karao Kurma Musharak Bitak. Interesting. Yes. Nicholas say it's good, it's very important to dig the background of your person, your partner first before involving yourself into, detailed relationship. And also Mayan raised a concern, Mayan James, I think, that some ladies, when you ask them, you need them immediately, they will say yes. And others will say no. When you approach them, will say no. And as a youth, if you maybe want that person, what do you do in that case? And it's taking us back to approach, how to approach. So, Gak, I think we need to listen this from you.
Well, first of all, every seed falls from a tree. As human beings, we're always connected. Being to the family, being to friends, because we make new families as we grow. It's only when you're born that you're only connected to your mother, your parents, but as you're growing you realize there's a world beyond your mom, there's a world beyond your family, there's a world beyond yourself. And for that reason, every person concerning your life, or anyone around you, will always have a say as a human beings. We are not animals. And for that purpose, that's why I said before, according to Africans, marriage is not between two people, it's between two families. And a family can even go beyond your blood, because people only think of only people that are connected to them by blood. So every yes and every no have a reason. If your parents say, you, my son, you cannot marry this lady, ask them why. They will explain to you. And you will also explain to them why you thought that was the right person for you. And by the end of the day, the decision will be reached. In this thing, nothing is dictated. You cannot dictate them, neither will they dictate you. Because the best thing that is good for you is what all these people want. There is no friend or a parent that will want the son or the daughter to marry a wrong person that cannot build that person. That one doesn't exist, because where you can get the love best without even interest are from your parents. I can say from experience point of view, the only person that loves you in this world without any string attached are your parents.
Okay.
Doesn't matter whether you fail or what. So they will always wish you well. Don't also push your interests too much, because by the end of the day, don't ignore advices from the people around you, because they also want something good for you. Let's balance all these things, and by the end of the day, you will get the right thing for you. Because, as it is said, what an elder see while seated, maybe a young person cannot see while standing. You need certain no's, you need certain yes. Not everything that should end your way, but they should always be compromised. Be ready to talk, be willing to talk and converse. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Gak, for that clarification. I read you. Hello, I read you. 0922-986-986 or 0911-986-986. Do not forget that you are listening to Zone 72 Youth Program on iRadio Your Eye on South Sudan. And this program comes your way every Saturday from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. on iRadio Your Eye on South Sudan. And my name is Winnie Eric, your host for the program. iRadio.
Hello?
Yes, please.
Yes, good evening.
Evening to you. Your name and where are you calling from?
This is Dominic from Yambia.
Welcome, Dominic.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I really want to thank these energetic men of this country for moving to the station and enlightening the nation on such kind of programs. Yeah, I would appeal, like I had these two different agencies trying to solve the problem of this country. So our problem is lying in problem identification. A correct definition of statement of problem will lead to problem solving. As such, we need to look at the factors influencing this, because most of these issues are due to sociocultural issues, socioeconomical issues, and even individual issues regarding issues to do with relationships. As such, research is one of the profitable tools for solving most of the problems and giving the best approach. So, with these agencies trying to solve this, it would be okay if they can take this country to such kind of big project, like looking at the regions in this country and dividing among them as agents, then carrying a research that is going to give us everlasting solution to these issues. So it will actually help us, even schools and so on, and people will have a better approach to solve some of these issues, because I'm quite sure this is a rare program, and I'm not accusing some of the NGOs and others, but this program is actually very beneficial. That's what I would like to appeal.
All right. Thank you so much, Dominic, for that positive feedback. Let's also hear from another caller. I read you.
Hello.
Yes, please. Your name and where are you calling from? Welcome, John Mayor. You're too close to your radio. Can you extend far?
Hello?
Hello, John Mayor.
المشكلة الزواج بتاع البيت والولد كان الولد بتلقى بيت بيكلم وبيت بيكلم مع أهله وولد بيكلم مع أهله والناس بيجنبوا بعدين يعملوا زواج. عشان البنات بقى يلاقي مع ولد ويمشوا بعد شوية يظهر همل ولد يشيل البيت بدون معالة هناك بعد شوية يفرشكوا لو كان كده علاقة ما في بين الزواج لو دي حاجة البطالة بقى لكن زمان كانت في علاقة كويس.
نعم.
شكرا.
Okay. Sukran Khalis John Mayor, Ma Musharak Bitak. I'm going to pick now one call due to our time, and then from there we will listen from our guests of today. Yes, you still have the chance to call one last caller on 922-986-986 or 911-986-986. Hi, radio.
Hello.
Yes, please. Your name and where are you calling from?
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Your name?
I'm Yakobo calling from Supermore.
Welcome, Yakobo.
Yeah, I just want to emphasize briefly on the topic that you guys are trying to bring. Yeah, the issue pertaining marriage, if it is a kind of relationship, maybe between girls and boys, I don't think it is normal. Marriage is there's no problem with marriage. But now, what we have here is people could understand marriage properly. According to my understanding, marriage needs to be entered to constitution, and all the tribes that are always they are relying on animals as a source of marriage, they have to be grouped also separate. After grouping them, then they set the constitution depending on how they understand. So fix maybe the number of cattle has to be one. Those ones who are like that, they have to be separate. To put their inside the constitution everywhere need to be well known that when you enter to these people, you are going to make it this way. That one will also eliminate this issue of GVV. You know our culture here, people don't respect girls. You find a very old man can admire a young girl. Why? Because the culture support the idea that a old man can marry to a young girl. That is something, that's why respect is not there. If you see where people used to stay in a social gathering, those mosaics that you are seeing them moving around here, they used to go chat with those young girls. It's because their cultures don't respect girls. They look at girls as women. You see? So if we respect all those things, we put things into constitution, marriage has to be from this age to this age. When you marry to this and this tribe, their payment is like this, like this, like this. If you encroach maybe from this side to that side, be ready to pay that one. So that when you are doing it, you know that you are capable of it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, should not be a kind of competition whereby if I have more, I'm just come and double. The other one also come and the other one will come and double. That means more men who are ugly, they are the richest. They can play around there, they can mess up with cars, they do a lot of things that they do because they know they can money. You see? So things
You're
need
right.
to be that way. And if we do like that, EVV will be also eliminated because you know the guideline is there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Jacobo, for your positive feedback. That is all about culture, how sometimes culture can affect our relationship negatively. Thank you so much. And now, Gag, you can wrap up just from what the guests say, and we call it a good evening.
Yeah, my last word before Esther comes in is one thing. Dowry doesn't entitle you to consider someone like a property, even if you pay much. Because if you look at the genesis of dowry is that this is a sign of appreciation. You're appreciating parents or the family of that lady for raising such a wonderful daughter. The person that you will be calling the mother of your children, the wife, and all those things. And this person is going to spend the rest of the life with you. That's why at first it wasn't even mentioned that you have to bring this amount, because it's not a market whereby you're selling something. It's an appreciation that you're giving what you have from the bottom of your heart to appreciate the other parents. And still you can be able to come back and relate, because this is a new family. So let's not feel entitled when you have paid the dowries and you just abuse a woman, or a woman abuses a man because that man had not finished the dowries. Dowry is a different thing with marriage and a relationship. So let's not abuse ourselves in the name of dowries. It's completely wrong. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Thank you. Now, Esther, what's your message, your last message concerning our topic of today?
Okay, thank you so much, Winnie. To wrap this off, I would like to tell our listeners and everyone out there that a relationship is not a guarantee to marriage. Once you enter a relationship, that does not bound you to the guy, to the person or the lady. Let me say the guy or the lady. That okay, you are in this relationship. It's leading to marriage. So take your time, knowing that you are dating to get to know the person. So before you start imprisoning yourself, let's know that not every relationship leads to marriage.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Message?
I think young people, invest your time in knowing your spouse that you're dating, rather than rushing into marriages that later on you end up being abused or abusing someone. Know yourselves. Relationship is healthy, and if it is not working for you, move on. You better move on in a relationship than moving on later on in marriage, or maybe being abused in marriage.
All right.
Otherwise, thank you so much to our dear listeners, and Zone 72 is always there for you. Tune in every Saturday from 4 to 5.
All right. Thank you so much, Gag, for that remark, and Esther. And if I didn't pick your call, do not worry. We shall continue with the same program the coming Saturday. And youth can always send us questions about adolescent health to youthzone72@gmail.com or call 0922 009 497. Like our Facebook page, Youth Zone 72, and the hotlines include GPV 623, COVID-19 6666, Adolescent Health Immediate 885. With that, we have come to the end of today's edition of Zone 72 Youth Program, which tackled relationships basing on dating and how to choose a right partner in future. And my guests in the studio were Esther Martin, Executive Director of Lugar Appellate, an art-based foundation and an advocate for youth rights, and Gak Malik, the founder of BTEC and the coordinator of Zone 72 Youth Program. Thank you for participating in the show, and remember to join me again the coming Saturday at 4 p.m. for another edition of the program. My name is Winnie Eric. Until next time, stay safe.